This is Hannibal here with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. I'm going to jump right into it. TKO Chief COO Mark Shapiro did a media call about WWE and UFC business on the 4th of December. And the most unique news out of that, I guess, is that WWE is getting rid of house shows in smaller markets. They already, since COVID, cut way back on their house shows. There's hardly any already, although more than AEW, which only I think has done three or four in their existence. And obviously, they weren't that profitable, if profitable at all, as they never did more. But basically, these small market house shows either aren't profitable or not profitable enough to be worthwhile. So they're going to stick to the bigger cities and mostly TV tapings. They do, however, want to do more UFC live events going forward because UFC draws really well and they're grossing huge revenue almost every show that they do. Right now, they're doing 42 Saturdays a year. So they could also run other nights and obviously do every Saturday. He did say a lie, claiming that WrestleMania was sold out in 24 hours. Apparently, there's still tickets available if you want to get WrestleMania tickets. So that's a pretty easy thing to get information on. They want to increase sponsorship for WWE. They've shut down the WWE's analytic department and it's basically going to be the UFC's analytic department doing it for Endeavor as a whole. Australia is paying UFC 16 million to put on three events there. The deal that Vince McMahon negotiated to bring UFC to Saudi Arabia is for 20 million, which is just a fight night, not a pay-per-view. And they also have a UFC in Abu Dhabi that they're getting 25 million for. For the first time ever, they revealed that the WWE Saudi Arabia deal is $50 million a show. They are making huge cash on that. Why is Goldberg not being used on those shows? Why is Austin not being used on those shows? Like they're profiting huge on those shows. They should be bringing in. They should be making them more special for the pay-per-view audience. The network WWE deal with Peacock is up in March 2026. They're considering possibly making the network a combined thing with WWE Network and UFC Fight Pass in the future. I honestly don't think. I know there's some crossover. I know a lot of UFC and MMA fans hate wrestling. Some of them used to be wrestling fans when they were young. A lot of wrestling fans don't like UFC, or they're like me that will watch the highlights and semi follow it, but don't really care about it that much. Might go if I got free tickets, but uh, but would not pay for an event. So I don't think the crossover is that much. I mean, a lot of my friends that are UFC fans hate wrestling and think it's childish and quote unquote. Uh, I won't even say the term, but you can imagine what I said. Um, but the Royal Rumble, it looks like it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. Apparently, WWE is going to tack on the 18 months that Orton was off onto the end of his contract that's set to expire late next year. So don't expect him in AEW anytime soon. Tribute from the troops happening right now at a pre-sale of 8,000. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. where I actually was at that Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island, a few years ago. The Comic Con invited me to come cover it. That's when I did my interview with Zeus. And the restaurants in Providence, Rhode Island are amazing. I love squid and oysters and the clam chowder. Oh my God. I really want to go back to Providence one day. And the people are really friendly there. In AEW news, this is just plain stupid. Okay, I don't know. Like, honestly, they've got to do better marketing. They were in Montreal this past week, one of the greatest markets in the history of pro wrestling. Only had just over 2,000 total for Collision, including comps. In an arena that seats 20,000, you should have gone to the Verdun Auditorium. It's a legendary wrestling venue that holds 7,000, and then Dynamite had 4,000 something. They they didn't use Jacques Rougeau to help sell tickets. I mean, Jacques Rougeau's retirement show in Montreal had 11,000. He would have been happy to help promote, give him something to do on the show, have Jacques Rougeau's son wrestle on the show with Jacques managing him or something. And PCO, they did. He's still on Impact, where Impact is having a pay per view at a wrestling school this month. So how much could they possibly be paying PCO that AEW wouldn't sign PCO to at least give the Montreal market a boost? Because although they have four wrestlers from Quebec in AEW, none of them are really over as Quebec wrestlers. Like, they're not over to the extent anywhere near, not even 5% over to the extent of Rougeau and PCO. Um, I, anyways, I just think that was a big mistake, not having more local flavor. I don't know if Sylvain Grenier is back working with WWE or not, but even like bringing, I don't know, they should have done more local stuff because it just seems like that's a very lackluster debut. I mean, I've got a lot of Facebook friends from Montreal, and I didn't see much at all posted. I've seen more posted from independent shows in Montreal than I did about AEW, and I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying that that's disappointing. Like, they literally could have gone to the Verdun Auditorium, 7,000 seats, and had tickets left rather than the Bell Center. Have to curtain off the majority of the arena. And this is another stupid thing. The Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall, with Kevin Von Erich managing them, are debuting at the show in Dallas, or Arlington, Texas, Dallas area. Arlington has some nice outlets. I've been there before and had a great steak in Arlington. But they only just announced it, and the show is next week. And Meltzer says they probably would have sold a decent amount of tickets to Von Erich world class fans if they hadn't waited till a week out to start promoting it. Apparently, the Iron Claw movie made the National Board of Review's top 10 films of 2023. I am extremely excited to go see that movie. I don't think I've been as excited to see a movie as I am to see that. Apparently, according to people that have seen the latest version of the Iron Claw movie, it looks like MJF has pretty much been cut out of the movie. He was playing Lance Von Erich. No speaking lines, and Meltzer says unless you were looking for him, you wouldn't know he was in it. The December 15th Ring of Honor Final Battle show from Garland, Texas, in the Dallas area has a very weak advance. Only around 1,000 tickets, including comps. This is what this is like their version of a pay per view. Why they bother with Ring of Honor? I don't know. I really don't know. Although I'd be happy to take either contract. By the way, I could use the extra money. Both Hardys this past week have openly said they're frustrated with not being used much in AEW. They have such a huge roster, and there's a lot of guys that just get paid for doing nothing, which is pretty damn good. I mean, I understand their frustrations, but the lowest paid AEW guy is 150 grand, and I'm sure the Hardys are making a lot more than that. But to just sit around and do nothing, that's pretty damn good. Ric Flair's appearance at the Minneapolis Rampage show, where he said his classic line about, and keep in mind he's married, folks. Any women 18 to 28 come to his hotel room after, no boyfriends. By the way, he didn't actually say the name of the hotel. He just said a hotel. That's how sincere the line is. And I like Ric Flair, but he's wrinkled skinned 75-year-old who's married. And they cut it out, and the segment was horrible. But the rating was up 0. 0.8 to a 0.10 with Ric Flair's appearance. And apparently, he also said in that promo that he's wrestled Sting 1,500 times. Dave Meltzer looked it up. It was only 283 times. Basically, it's a promo. It's not real, guys. Stop taking it so freaking seriously. Wrestling is supposed to be. I hate. Remember, wrestling used to be an escape, to escape, to throw away your inhibitions. Now you have assholes like Sami Zayn who've actually had fans kicked out of buildings for hurting his feelings. You used to be able to just be a fan, and like there was no politics. The wrestling wasn't always politically correct, but it wasn't taken seriously. And as a fan, you had freedom to yell whatever you wanted at the wrestlers. And like you're not going to get it any crap for it. That was the whole fun of going to wrestling. Collision taping in Erie, Pennsylvania, December the 2nd. Only had about 2,000 fans, including comps. Now this is karma because this guy's a total piece of shit. Dutch Mantel's apparently in the hospital. I mean, I'm still recovering, sadly, guys, and I regret doing it. But I had a very serious suicide attempt back in July, and this piece of shit Dutch Mantel put out a video like the week after, just bashing me, which showed absolutely no class. And if his little buddy there ever wants to fight me, I'll put up $5,000 street fight. Even even with fucking broken leg, man, I would whoop your ass. I'd actually beat you so bad you'd be unrecognizable. So, Dutch Mantel, wish you the best in your recovery, pal. In MMA news, Dana White reacted to the PFL Bellator deal, saying it was a joke. Quote, "It's effing hilarious. Good for them. I wish them all the luck in the world. I've covered this before. One shitty organization that sells no tickets and nobody watches buys another shitty organization that sells no tickets and nobody watches. Sounds like an effing winner to me." He even stole a line from Ric Flair to end the quote. Some of that TKO WWE rubbing off on Dana White, which I'm telling you, at some point you're going to see Dana White on Raw or SmackDown, and I would pop. I would pop for that. Anthony, good for you moving to a new place. I know CM Punk's on SmackDown tonight. Sounds like just a promo. Um, I am. I've been having health issues, Rick. Just battling through them. But I'm looking to make a comeback next spring, man. I'm really excited for Iron Claw too. Yes, the Samoan Watchmen, exactly. They've turned pro wrestling from something fun and lighthearted into something that just is not cool, in my opinion. Gilbert, I've had 3 surgeries now on my foot from a broken ankle. It's been going. I'm almost at the 3-month mark of dealing with this now. I'm still in a lot of pain. It sucks. I can sympathize with. I think it's Adam Cole, who also has a broken ankle. It's a shitty injury, man. And yeah, as I said, since about July, I've been having health issues, but I'm getting better. Appreciate all the fan support. And there's people a lot worse off than me. I'm not complaining. Just looking forward to a fresh start next year. 2024 is going to be the comeback year for Hannibal.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.